Book 18 of the Analects of Confucius, translated by William Jennings. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Good man in seclusion, Duke of Zhou to his son. In the reign of the last king of the Qin Dynasty, Confucius said, there were 3 men of philanthropic spirit: the Viscount of Wei, who withdrew from him; the Viscount of Ji, who became his bondsman; and Bi Gan, who reproved him and suffered death. Hui of Liu Xia, who filled the office of chief criminal judge, was thrice dismissed. A person remarked to him, "Can you not yet bear to withdraw?" He replied, "If I act in a straightforward way in serving men, whither in these days should I go, where I should not be thrice dismissed? Were I to adopt crooked ways in their service, why need I leave the land where my parents dwell?" Duke Jin of Qi remarked respecting his attitude towards Confucius, "If he is to be treated like the chief of the Ji family, I cannot do it. I should treat him as somewhere between the Ji and Mang chiefs. I am old," he added, "and not competent to avail myself of him." Confucius, hearing of this, went away. The chief officials presented to the court of Lu a number of female musicians. Chi Huan accepted them, and for 3 days no court was held. Confucius went away. Jie Yu, the madman of Chu. Footnote 33. He only pretended to be mad in order to escape being employed in the public service. End of footnote. Was once passing Confucius, singing as he went along. He sang, "Ha, the phoenix! Ha, the phoenix! How is virtue lying prone? Vain to chide for what is over, plan to meet what's yet in store. Let alone, let alone, risky now to serve a throne." Confucius alighted, wishing to enter into conversation with him, but the man hurried along and left him, and he was therefore unable to get a word with him. Changju and Jie Ni. Footnote 34. 2 worthies who had abandoned public life owing to the state of the times. End of footnote. Were working together on some plowed land. Confucius was passing by them, and sent Tsz lu to ask where the ford was. Changju said, "Who is the person driving the carriage?" "Confucius," answered Tsz lu. "He of Lu?" he asked. "The same," said Tsz lu. "He knows then where the ford is?" said he. Tsz lu then put his question to Jie Ni, and the latter asked, "Who are you?" Tsz lu gave his name. "You are a follower of Confucius of Lu, are you not?" "You are right," he answered. "Ah, as these waters rise and overflow their bounds," said he, "'tis so with all throughout the empire. And who is he that can alter the state of things? And you are a follower of a learned man who withdraws from his chief, had you not better be a follower of such as have forsaken the world?" And he went on with his harrowing without stopping. Tsz lu went and informed his master of all this. He was deeply touched, and said, "One cannot herd on equal terms with beasts and birds. If I am not to live among these human folk, then with whom else should I live? Only when the empire is well ordered shall I cease to take part in the work of reformation." Tsz lu was following the master, but had dropped behind on the way, when he encountered an old man with a weed basket slung on a staff over his shoulder. Tsz lu inquired of him, "Have you seen my master, sir?" Said the old man, "Who is your master? You who never employ your 4 limbs in laborious work, you who do not know one from another of the 5 sorts of grain." And he stuck his staff in the ground and began his weeding. Tsz lu brought his hands together on his breast and stood still. The old man kept Tsz lu and lodged him for the night, killed a fowl and prepared some millet, entertained him, and brought his 2 sons out to see him. On the morrow Tsz lu went on his way and told all this to the master, who said, "He is a recluse," and sent Tsz lu back to see him again. But by the time he got there, he was gone. Tsz lu remarked upon this, "It is not right he should evade official duties. If he cannot allow any neglect of the terms on which elders and juniors should live together, how is it that he neglects to conform to what is proper as between prince and public servant? He wishes for himself personally a pure life, yet creates disorder in that more important relationship. When a gentleman undertakes public work, he will carry out the duties proper to it, and he knows beforehand that right principles may not win their way. Among those who have retired from public life have been Bo Yi, Shu Qi, Yu Zhong, Yi Yi, Zhu Zhang, Hui of Liu Xia, and Shao Lian. Of these, said the Master, Bo Yi and Shu Qi may be characterized, I should say, as men who never declined from their high resolve nor soiled themselves by aught of disgrace. Of Hui of Liu Xia and Shao Lian, if one may say that they did decline from high resolve, and that they did bring disgrace upon themselves, yet their words were consonant with established principles, and their action consonant with men's thoughts and wishes, and this is all that may be said of them. Of Yu Zhong and Yi Yi, if it be said that when they retired into privacy they let loose their tongues, yet in their aim at personal purity of life they succeeded, and their defection was also successful in its influence. My own rule is different from any adopted by these. I will take no liberties. I will have no curtailing of my liberty. The chief music master went off to Qi. Gan, the conductor of the music at the second repast, went over to Chu. Liao, conductor at the third repast, went over to Ts'ai. And Chue, who conducted at the fourth, went to Qin. Fang Shu, the drummer, withdrew into the neighborhood of the He. Wu, the tambourer, went to the Han. And Yang, the junior music master, and Shang, who played on the musical stone, went to the sea-coast. Anciently the Duke of Chow, addressing his son the Duke of Lu, said, "A good man in high place is not indifferent about the members of his own family, and does not give occasion to the chief ministers to complain that they are not employed, nor without great cause will he set aside old friendships, nor does he seek for full equipment for every kind of service in any single man." There were once 8 officials during the Chow dynasty, who were 4 pairs of twins, all brothers. The eldest pair, Da and Kuo; the next, Tu and Hu; the third, Ye and Xia; the youngest, Sui and Gua. End of Book 18. Recording by Li Jing.